You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is The Outsiders, another edition / episode. There are a lot of things going on in Baltimore City. There's a lot of things going on in this country. Of course, I'm with my co-host, superstar Doc Cheatham. Doc, how things going?
Things are going marvelous, and want to say happy Black History Month to everybody. And don't forget, if you ever need to know about Baltimore, African American heroes and heroes born in Baltimore City, look it up. African American heroes and heroes born in Baltimore City, 232 outstanding Baltimoreans.
Yeah, definitely look it up. This is quite a month with the way things are going. Of course, we have the Super Bowl coming up, and we're going to see how that all goes. But what are your predictions for that?
Super Bowl?
Yes.
I think I may have missed 2 out of maybe 50 years. I'm going with Kansas City to beat the 49ers. Usually what you will see in the history of the Super Bowl, teams that repeat normally win. Teams that are just coming back, and 49ers, of course, have won their share of Super Bowls. But this is a relatively new team, so they're going to take a licking and keep ticking. But I think it's going to be Kansas City. And no, I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan when they won Super Bowl number 3. I think that was against the Minnesota Vikings. That was when the AFC beat the NFC.
Super Bowl 3 was actually, unfortunately, when the Jets beat the Colts.
Okay, so
you remember that?
I might have the wrong year, but I remember so well that Kansas City ended up beating, and that really started. But everybody will try to forget when Joe Namath and Johnny Sample beat us.
Yeah, that was something else. I'm just too young to remember it.
Watch it, man. Watch it.
Well, I'm boycotting it. I'm not going to watch the Taylor Swift show because that's all it's going to be is a camera on Taylor Swift and Travis, 2 shots, knucklehead, Kelsey. And I'm not in for that. And as a matter of fact, my wife and I went to, and I'm going to give them a shout out, the American Legion 122, the American Legion, and that's in Randallstown and Owings Mills, I believe. But I'm giving them a shout out because I was there this past Friday, and my wife and I like to go there for the karaoke. And I'm, of course, military. My dad was military, family's military. And one of the guys sitting there at the table, he goes, "I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I don't want to see Taylor Swift, and I don't want to see all that." I said, "Thank you, bruh," because we're in the same, and I believe there's a lot of people who are thinking that Taylor Swift is taking over the NFL, and I don't like it. I don't like the script the NFL put together, but I digress. The show, and I have to mention, of course, our special guest today is going to be, he hasn't filed yet. I went and checked. I literally just checked. He hasn't filed to run for mayor of Baltimore City. As of yet, the deadline is tomorrow. And that is Thiru Vignarajah. He's a friend of mine and Doc Cheatham's. And Thiru is going to be on the show. We're going to be giving him a call in just a little bit in the show. But, Doc, what are you getting in your car? Hey, Doc, what do you think of the Marilyn Mosby situation? It was a split decision. It looks like they hit her for 1, which I think is outrageous and ridiculous. It's not even, it's a civil trial. It should be a civil trial, not even criminal information I'm getting back on it. But what do you think of Marilyn Mosby's situation? What happened?
I feel it's an unfortunate situation, especially, you know, she's going to probably be given a few months, maybe a year.
That's ridiculous.
You know, and I'm saying over $5,000. You know, it shows folks, and I'm hoping folks are listening to this. We can't do what other folks who don't look like us do.
No.
We can't do that. We're not going to get away from it, because you're going to find there's always folks in the background that have a reason why they don't like us. And I'm not saying that what she did was right, but I am saying that if she was of the Caucasian persuasion, they may not have gone after her after finding the police officers guilty, and then the courts found them innocent. But it's unfortunate. I do think that the president of the city council, you know, did what a man should do, is to protect his wife and his children. But I also think that he should not run for re-election.
He hasn't, as far as I've looked, unless he's just done it. I don't see Nick's name as registered. I'm going to take a look during the show.
Wasn't this morning.
Okay, so you saying the same as me, because we're keeping an eye on that, and I don't see where that's happened. I will say this, being from the mortgage and finance industry, I will say this: when it comes to gifts, when it comes to purchase of a house, and this is how it works, people. So listen to me. Listen to somebody who did this for a living and knows what he's talking about. Okay, this is how it works. When you are doing an application for a mortgage, there is called the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. It's called RESPA Acts, which we had to learn. I had to learn inside out. So certain things you cannot do, things you can do, which are illegal, etc. Now, when it comes to gifting, gift money, what happens is, especially when it comes to a couple, a married couple, it can get a little convoluted where the money actually came. What was it, the husband, the wife? Usually what happens is this. You have the underwriter. They have to underwrite loans. So you can put whatever you want to put on an application. You can put your name as Donald Duck or Humpty Dumpty on an application. You can put that you got $5 million in accounts on an application. You can put all kinds of stuff, crap, on an application. The bottom line is that it has to be underwritten. It has to be processed and underwritten, and it has to be verified. Are you people hearing what I'm saying? Are you listening? Are you hearing what I'm saying? This stuff has to be verified, underwritten. So when they get the application, they say, okay, so-and-so they're listing $150,000 in this account and that account. So guess what I had to do as a mortgage originator or the broker? You have to get the information. You have to get the bank statements. You have to get the information to verify everything that's on the application. Are you people understanding what I'm saying? Okay, then let me slow down a little bit. Okay, so when Marilyn Mosby or anyone, when they do an application, okay, this has to be done. It has to be underwritten. And of course, the underwriter has to verify the information, the mortgage originator, loan officer. They have to get the documentation. Do you understand this? Okay, so what they're doing with Marilyn Mosby is so nonsensical to me, because I'm looking at it saying, what did the underwriter, who approved it? Do you understand, people? Let me say that again. The lender has to approve it. They have to confirm. Doc, you're killing me. They have to confirm. They have to confirm everything. They have to get documentation. Do you understand this? So I don't understand. Wow.
Issued a document saying he has filed. Associated Press.
Okay, so he just filed.
And the Baltimore Sun as well.
Oh, okay. So Nick Mosby has just filed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. But when it comes to what this trial is about, with her, with $5,000 gift, which she did get, they found her guilty of that, with the $5,000 gift, and they hit her with that. I think it was a hit job, period. I think it's outrageous, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And she went after these cops, so that's her payback in order for going after the police in that Freddie Gray case. So that, I guess that's payback.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble saying this, but
go ahead. I know I get myself in trouble.
I never ran from a fight with whether I was going to win or lose, and I didn't lose too many. But I would say this, that I think if black men should have come together on any issue, this was not the one. The one that they should have come together on was the Linda Batts issue, where a white man went to her house and took pictures trying to intimidate her. This is where, from my vantage point, black men should have rose up. And I'm not too happy with you black men this week because I think Linda Batts' issue was far more damaging to her and her family than it was not of her doing. She had nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
So
this is of
that's just my personal opinion.
well, this is of outside. It's not anything she did. This is of outside. This is a person come, and then he put it his name, Jed Weeks, the interim director of Baltimore, while Linda Batts is in her home or whatever, going to her home. Linda didn't do anything. She didn't put anything in writing or do anything, and then she had to go to court about it, which is what Marilyn Mosby's situation is, and I think what they did with Marilyn Mosby was a railroad. But Linda Batts is at her home, and this person comes to her house, puts her home on social media so people can know where she lives. That is dangerous. That is dangerous, and that is crazy. And how somebody can get away with doing that, and Baltimore and the board members haven't. This man should have been fired. He should have been arrested, actually. So the police, and here we go, Richard Worley. The police should have arrested Jed Weeks for what he did and booked him for what he did. But they didn't. They did that.
I commend the men for standing up for Maryland. But I'm going to tell you, some of you really don't have civil rights experience. You know, you want to raise some hell and make some noise. But I really think you need to look at what you do first. And from my vantage point, it's no question. The person that should have gotten black men to stand behind her was the Linda Batts situation, more so than the Marilyn Mosby case. I'm sorry that, I might be in a minority with this, but I do say this. I did spend over 50 years in the area of civil rights, and I think I'm considered to be an expert in civil rights.
Well, Doc, I agree. Marilyn Mosby, there's nothing wrong with coming to her aid. I understand all of that, but this ignoring Linda Batts, just completely ignoring her. No, I completely disagree with it. I'm going to stand on everything that I said in regards to these men who are out here, the black men especially, out here, and they haven't come to her aid, haven't written a letter, haven't sent something to the mayor, haven't sent something to Baltimore, have not come out and critically asked for the resignation or firing of Jed Weeks. And I think it's a travesty. I think it's an embarrassment, and I think they should be embarrassed. I think when they come up to me and look me in the eye or give me a call, I think they should feel embarrassed because I'm going to ask them about it. Hey guys, you know me and you know how I roll. I'm going to ask you about it. Why haven't I heard? Why haven't you said anything?
You and I, so that the listening ones would know, we have not had this conversation, but it's clear, we look at this from the same perspective, that something should have been done by black men. And I'm saying, y'all eating and meeting every month is fine, but damn it, you got to do a little bit more than eating and meeting. You got to do something a little bit more. And I don't mean just talk the talk. I'm talking about walking the walk, black men. You didn't walk the walk on the Linda Batts case, and I'm very disappointed in most of you.
Well, I agree. And we're going to keep dealing with this subject matter. And another subject matter I want to talk about, it's the state of the state, Westmore. I'm going to play a clip. And I want, Doc, tell me what you think about this clip, because I noticed something during the state of the state. I needed to have my hip boots on because it was so deep in it. I only could deal with it but for so long. But let me go ahead and play Governor Westmore as state of the state and tell me what you think of this.
Colleagues in state and local government and my fellow Marylanders. 1 year ago, we began our work together to talk about how together we can deliver on that promise. 1 year ago, we began our work together. And we knew that while we had boundless opportunities in this state, and we had blinding potential in this state, we also knew that we were leaving too much potential on the table. Whoever takes a chance on a dream or a worker decides it's time she became her own boss. Through sheer grit and determination, these companies have weathered the recession and they're ready to grow. And 1 year later, we've still got work to do. We learned a lot of lessons, some hard lessons. But solving big problems does not happen overnight. The burden of working harder and longer for less, of being unable to save enough to retire or help kids with college. So I know the anxieties that are out there right now. They're not new. These are Maryland's wins. Now I know I talk a lot about partnership. And I know if the state received a nickel for every time I said the word partnership, we would have all of our budget issues solved. Right, Senator? But let's be clear, partnership is not the goal. Fulfilling the promise of Maryland is the goal.
So what did you think of that? That was just clips of the state of the state.
Well, let me say this. Your audio was excellent there. The audio was really, really good. I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, I supported this governor first and foremost because he gave us some assurances that he was going to assist us, not give us, but assist us in bringing the food market back to a part of West Baltimore that Antonio Hayes has neglected. But I'm beginning to be, I guess, second-guessing some of the decisions made by the governor. I definitely second-guess his appointment of the juvenile justice guy. I'm looking forward to seeing someone from the youth commission that he created come to our event on the 21st this month. So I'm hoping the governor and his office does not disappoint me. But I'm kind of concerned. I think he's talking the right issues, but I'm not seeing any results so far. And I want to see some results, Mr. Governor. I'm a strong supporter of you, but you know, things like the food desert, you know, it has not been addressed yet, and it's been a while. And I definitely think your choice of the juvenile justice guy is a real fault. But we're going to stay optimistic. We're going to stay optimistic.
Well, Doc, let me tell you what happened. I was listening to Wes, and I was thinking to myself, the way his diction, his speech, the way he pauses, his mannerisms. Well, let me be clear. The way he talked. I just want to let people in the state of Maryland know. And I'm listening to the way he's talking, and I'm like, he sounds like somebody I know. Actually, the campaign slogan for his first campaign was mine that was used. I'm talking about Barack Obama. Wow, this guy sounds like, and I want to make this perfectly clear. And what I'm saying to you and everyone, please understand. What I want to tell you now is that the state of Maryland is doing much better. Now I'm just doing a Barack Obama, you know, the diction, the way he pauses, etc.
That's an interesting observation, and I was a strong Barack Obama supporter. Didn't like the fact that he didn't appoint a black to the Supreme Court. I try to be fair, but that's an interesting observation you're making.
But in making that observation, Doc, this is what I did. What I did is I pulled up Wes Moore's speech that was just given, the State of the State, and Barack Obama's speech, his first State of the Union, and I meshed them into one speech. Who you heard Wes Moore and Barack Obama. Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm waiting. I paused to hear your reaction. That was.
On this one, I can't disagree. You know, I listened to Barack even when he was a congressman. I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I meshed them together. I've had parts of Wes's speech and parts of Barack's speech. I put them together, and you couldn't tell the difference because he's trying to channel Barack Obama. Wes Moore, I guess he wants to be idolized or looks up to Barack Obama because he's trying to be Barack Obama. He's channeling Barack Obama. Barry Soetoro. That's why I put it together, and you couldn't pick up the difference because they sounded so much alike, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Interesting observation, and I'm gonna pay a little more attention to it. I was a Barack Obama supporter, even though I had some concerns of what he did not do, just like I had some major concerns of what the president has not done, and I'm talking about the John Lewis bill and the George Floyd bill. And I'm very displeased with that right now. I'm not voting for the president or the past president.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this. Wait a second, something just came up. It looks like Thiru, she's got some kind of meeting or something. So he may be coming on the show later on. I told him I would be calling him. Of course, this is a podcast, so it's taped. So I told him I'd be calling him at 2:30. So he needs a little bit more time. Okay, so we'll just go with the rest of the show.
Hey, the show must go on.
Show must go on, Thiru. I don't know what's going on. It's some meeting he's in. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to go on with the rest of the show. And I want to discuss this. I'm going to play a clip of this. And this has to do with what's going on in the city with the finances. Now, I hope everyone understands, and I'm sure they do, Doc, and I'm not, trying to be facetious or anything or patronizing, but the money that you put out in taxes and sales taxes and the taxes that go to the city and so on, that money goes to the government. It goes to the government comptroller, make sure it's spent properly. He's supposed to do his thing, but everyone else, they have to follow the charter, and each penny should be accounted for. Doc, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's some issues going on. People need to know about it. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. It's in regards to Baltimore. And no, take that back. This is how things are properly done. I'm going to start with that. This is a city in Georgia, and this is how they handle their government finances, city government finances, and audits and so on, and how things are done to keep track of each penny. So let me go ahead and hit that.
Okay.
Here we go.
Anyone interested in learning about how the city of Perry generates revenue or spends taxpayer dollars can trust that the city's financial reports are accurate and thorough. 41 NBC's Andrew Willis explains how the city's finance department compiles its annual comprehensive financial reports and how it ensures transparency for residents.
The city of Perry operates in a very transparent method.
This year, Perry was awarded the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association, or GOFA, for the city's fiscal year 2022 Comprehensive Financial Report. According to Perry's Finance Director, Mitchell Worthington, the report is about transparency.
It holds us accountable every year, knowing that every year all of our raw data is going to get put out on the table. So we want to make sure we're doing the best we can to spend the citizens' money correctly.
At the end of each fiscal year, the city's finance department compiles a report of its assets, income, and spending to make sure all of the city's expenses have been accounted for. The city administration then sends the report to a certified public accountant to be audited. Once the audit is complete, it's sent to the GOFA to be certified. But what sets Perry apart from other cities is its finance report doesn't just show numbers, but uses statistics to explain financial trends and how the money is used.
So it really gives a full picture to anyone who wants to pick up that book and see what's going on in this city. anything that would affect our finances.
Since 1996, Perry has been recognized by the Government Finance Officers Association for its financial reports and has been awarded the Certificate of Excellence every fiscal year since 2007. City Manager Lee Gilmore says another benefit of being certified by the GOFA is that it saves the city money on loans.
It can be a significant difference relative to what we have to pay for interest, based on having this certification compared to if we didn't.
Gilmore says it's important to thoroughly document and externally review finances because it indicates any problems or successes with Perry's financial standing. For residents, he says it provides a resource to engage with city government and answer any questions about how the city spends its money.
It is an acknowledgement and a credit for our staff in the finance department about what an outstanding job that they are doing, and have the complete trust of the citizens and council and everyone.
Baltimore doesn't have the complete trust of the citizens. The way things are being done, the finances, the way the city does things is spot on. That's how you do it. It's supposed to be complete transparency for every penny that's put out. Doc, am I incorrect in that?
You are 101% correct, and there has been a significant failure on the part of, I can't talk about all the past city council members, but this current selection of city council people, including the comptroller, the president, and the mayor, y'all have done a very poor job in protecting the citizens of Baltimore.
I don't see, when you have a system that's set up with a strong mayor system, where you have the mayor who can twist people's arms because it's a strong mayor system and he has control of putting people on boards like the Board of Estimates and other agencies, and the city council is basically a gelding to do what the mayor wants at his will. Which makes them very, very weak. And you have monies that are coming in from the citizens, from the taxpayers, from the voters, and you have someone in office like a Brandon Scott who cuts a BG&E backdoor deal against the will of the people. He should have been fired for that alone. No one should vote for him just for that alone. I'm not even going to get into the litany of mess. The worst run city in the country is Baltimore City. Who's at the helm?
I gotta add something to that. Why would you appoint an equity commission to look over things that are not being equitable? And I can name 4 or 5 things right off the top of my head where equity is not taking place. You got a Tom City circulator that goes through white neighborhoods. You got a state senator, Antonio Hayes, that because he's lighter skinned than the rest of us, we can't afford to have a skateboard park in our area. The list just goes on and on. And I'm saying, what the hell is the use of having an equity commission where you're not looking at things that are not equitable? For 10 years, we've not had an early voting site in the Western District. I'm happy to say, yes, Matthew has to take some credit that we now have an early voting site.
Congratulations. I saw that. You sent that over, and I said it. Great news. I put that out there. I had to respond to that one. So there is an early voting site.
After 10 years, and no, I was not on the election board more than 10 years ago when the State Board of Elections created early voting. But I will say, Antonio Hayes, you've been on the board of Annapolis for all of those years.
Yes, he has.
It took you more than 10 years to realize that the largest number of black people living in Baltimore City live in the Western District, and we're finally getting an early voting site. I guess we're not light enough for you, Senator Antonio Hayes.
I call him Pumpkinhead because he has got a pumpkin head. He's useless. Again, another one. Him and James Torrance. Somebody needs to run against James Torrance. This is the outsider speaking. Someone needs to get their big boy or big girl pants on and run against this guy and take this slime ball out of office. Doc, what do you think of this James Torrance character?
I'm extremely disappointed. I will say that 2 weeks ago he was here at our park and playground that we have here. We had a mortar mishap done by the Department of Public Works, and that was back in April. That problem still has not fixed. We're almost a year away.
Wow.
I'm just saying that, I don't know what other communities he may have served, but the largest community that's in West Baltimore is Matthew Henson. And I'm saying, I'm only telling the truth, I can't name one thing that he has done for our community since he's been in office. Not one thing. I
know one thing he hasn't done. He hasn't called for the firing of Jed Weeks to one of his constituents. Linda Batts is a constituent of James Torrance. James Torrance should have been the first person calling for the firing of Jed Weeks. So it looks like James doesn't protect his constituents. Looks like James doesn't really care about his constituents, what happens to them. That's what it looks like. And James is the council person in the dirtiest district, in the dirtiest city, here we go again, in the country. That's what he is. So why are you, I don't know what to say. I mean, if that reason alone doesn't get rid of this ass clown, I don't know what else. He doesn't protect his people. He keeps the neighborhood, doesn't do what he's supposed to do to clean the neighborhood up the way it's supposed to be cleaned. Pigpen and Pumpkinhead. That's what you guys got. You got the bottom feeders all around. And I want to get to my point that I was making in regards to keeping proper records and keeping track, as the city in Georgia, Perry, this city in Georgia did, doing things correctly. And I sent an email. Actually, it was an email thread. Started off with the Attorney General's office, and I was sending in requests to get some information, public information. The country has a Freedom of Information Act, folks. It's called Freedom of Information Act. And the state has the Maryland Public Information Act. That means you as a citizen can request information from your government. Did you all know that? Did you all know that you as a citizen at any time can request information from, let's say, the Baltimore City Council, where you want to find out the pay, how much money they paid out in salary, who they paid the salaries to. This type of information, you can request it. And I was curious about the Baltimore City Council and fees that they've paid out. And I get this email, and this is from this Aaliyah Knapp. She is with Baltimore City Department of Law. Aaliyah Knapp, legal specialist. And originally I sent this to Patrick Hughes and Miss Karen Strawn of the Attorney General's office, and I just wanted to get this simple information. Doc, am I asking for something that's complicated? I just want to know the fees that have been paid out by the Baltimore City Council. Is that complicated?
No, it seems like, if they didn't have something to hide or they don't know the information, you need to ask somebody. But, what I found in this last 3-year administration, they all seem to be painting the brush, with almost the same kind of paint. You can't get answers from them. When you ask them for information, you either don't get it or they don't send it to you in a timely fashion. And I'm saying, if you haven't done anything wrong, why is there such great reluctance to give us what we're asking for? All we want is, I guess, some clarity as to what's going on here. And I'm saying this is one of the greatest failures of this administration, the administration and the city council. The failure to communicate with the citizens that elected you.
there's no transparency. Just like the city of Perry, they had transparency. They did things correctly. They had an outside company do the audit on top of that. They put all the information together, and they made it available for their citizens to be able to see. Transparency. Now, I asked for if there were any monies paid to the state agency in fees, and an example would be recording, filing fees, etc. And that agency is the Circuit Court for Baltimore City. So I wanted to know the fees requested, Maryland Public Information Act, the fees that were paid by the Baltimore City Council to the Circuit Court for Baltimore City, which is a state agency. So that's a city agency paying fees to a state agency. And what I got back was very disturbing, and I'm going to read it. This is from Aaliyah Knapp, legal specialist, advice and opinions practice group, Baltimore City Department of Law. Good morning, Mr.
She got the right position. That's the right title.
I don't know if she's an attorney or not. Usually they'll let you know. She may be a paralegal. But good morning, Mr. Sims. The Baltimore City Council is in receipt of your updated records request below. This request is governed by the Maryland Public Information Act, codified in Section 4-101, etc., etc., etc. Each governmental entity, including each Baltimore City agency, is the custodian of its own records. Now, what she says is this. After that paragraph, she has a sentence, Doc. Everyone needs to hear this. Everyone needs to listen up. This is what was sent back to me. City Council has no such records, regardless of the time frame requested. What? Excuse me? Now, I emailed Ms. Knapp a request for clarification. You need to be more specific, and you need to clarify, young lady, what you're saying here. Because what I'm saying is that when I see no such records, Doc, are they not supposed to keep records of everything that they pay out?
My understanding is yes, it could be a situation where, I don't want to say you're passing the buck, but maybe the answer that's being given is to the best of her knowledge.
Ooh, that's not good.
And, I wonder whether or not that's the situation there. I think there has to be an answer to it. And I'm wondering whether or not the Inspector General may have to be asked this question rather than the law office.
Well, I do. Let me read what I sent to her. And I understand, Doc, because I thought the same thing. I'm a professional. I'm a pro. Okay? I'm a professional business person. I've dealt with all types of people in situations, contracts, etc. in my lifetime. Okay? This ain't my first rodeo. So I sent, I sent something asking for her for clarification. Now, I did send that. Now, that means that, okay, what you need to do, legal specialist, is you need to go to your boss or whoever is above you, let them know that you need more clarification, and then return an answer to me with clarification of exactly what you are saying. That was not done. Now, what I did do, and listen up, people, my YouTube viewers, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, everybody who's listening or watching this, I went up and pulled the Baltimore City Charter. I have the Baltimore City Charter. I said, let me go ahead and look, find out what's going on, Doc. Article 1, General Provisions. Let me read it. Section 7, Records, Reports. Letter A, Required Maintenance, Admissibility, Public Inspection. Quote, a suitable record of all the proceedings, financial transactions, and official acts of all municipal agencies shall be kept, and a certified copy of the record or any part thereof under the corporate seal of the city shall be admissible in evidence in any court of this state as proof of such record or a part thereof. A record shall be available for public inspection unless otherwise expressly ordered by the head of the agency or the municipal officer by or on behalf of whom the record is kept, etc., etc. Doc, what do you think about all that?
Well, I'm glad you're not investigating me or what I've done. You do a very thorough job, and I really think that her answer was not the answer that really would be appropriate in the request that you were making. I just think, she probably needs to go to a higher ranking officer in her office to let them know this is a request that's being made. And even though I may not know the information should in fact be held because it's required by the city charter. So I wouldn't give up on it, but I think this is the, we have a number of elected officials who seemingly will, I guess, tell you anything that they want, thinking that you will give up at the first encounter has not been positive. And we got some people like Sean Sims, he's going to get to the bottom of it, whether you like it or not, but he's not trying to do any harm to anyone. He's just trying to give us what we deserve as citizens of Baltimore City, the information. We're asking where is the beef, and we want to know where the beef is.
Exactly, and here's the thing, because I'm a three-dimensional thinker. It begs the question, what other monies, taxpayer dollars, taxpayer funds, are being paid out without proper records of these transactions? Have you got one? I mean, it's in writing. We don't have records of that. So what other records don't you have of financial transactions which have taken place within the Baltimore City Council? The question was also asked of the mayor's office as well. Oopsie, ooh-wee. Mayor Brandon Scott, his office, regarding fees that were paid by the mayor's office to the Circuit Court of Baltimore City, for Baltimore City, to be correct. I have not received a response from the mayor's office. No. Now, this lack of transparency and shucking and jiving and clowning around the worst run city in the country, this sort of thing needs to stop. You do not need to have Brandon back in. He is an unmitigated disaster. You do not need to put Sheila Dixon back in. She's an unmitigated disaster and an embarrassment. Well, both are embarrassments. And what's going on with this race? And Doc, I want to say this. There are social media outlets. We know the media outlet WJZ or Fox 45, WMAR, so on. They're not giving the other candidates their due time. I don't see them on there. And I'm specifically talking about Fox 45 when it comes to Sheila Dixon, her PR people. And they're not giving them the time. And then you have social media outlets on Facebook where the event was sent out to be posted on a Facebook page. I'm not going to say the page. Not now yet. There's some things going on I can see later on. We have to deal with that. But there's a Facebook page that received, from my count, for six different posts that were sent to them by different individuals. And these other individuals told me, Sean, we posted the event for February the 1st, the mayoral forum. We sent that to this social media, this Facebook site, and they refused to post it. See, if you have a site that has thousands of members on a Facebook site and you're sending it so that people can know about an event, Doc was there. I moderated with Marsha Jews, Linda Batch was there, and a bunch of people. Will Hanna was there, Terry Sims was there, and there was a bunch of people there. But if you have social media outlets blocking, blackballing, in essence, information to get to the members on their page, you're doing the people a disservice. And you can't say, hey, I'm for everybody, I'm this, that, and the other, and you do something like that. Doc, what do you think of that?
Well, I do say this, you're definitely on point when it comes to only a minute number of candidates that are running for mayor have received any TV coverage. I do know that I did receive within the last couple of days an announcement coming from Channel 13, WJZ, with the pictures of the majority of the candidates that are running for mayor to be at a forum. And I'm just hoping the other states in Chairman to BAL and WMAR, I'm hoping that all of them at one junction will give us a chance to see and hear all of them, not on a continual basis. I know the closer we get to the May election, you need to fine-tune what you have and who's running and who's just doing a lot of talking. But it does us a great disservice when you have, people and businesses basically being very discriminatory as to the information you're given. I thought your TV stations and radio stations were in the business to give information, not prejudicial information, but to give information.
That's what they're supposed to do. I mean, I have a podcast. It's my podcast. Doc's my co-host. I put this together. I put it out on my platforms, and I want the people who are running for mayor. I'm going to talk to the other candidates for the other races as well. But this show is open. I'm not going to, if somebody has an event, I'm not going to say, well, I don't like this person, or I don't like that, or I don't like this, so I'm going to block the information like a complete tool. That's a real jag-off, and it's weak. See, we don't do that. If you have information and somebody wants to say, come on, fine. I don't have a problem. If they come to me and ask, I'm not going to block people and then put it out there like I'm this great guy or this great lady or this great woman and put it out there like that when in essence, actually you're really not. You're a part of the problem. Just go along, get along, and doing things because you got connections with certain government officials or whatever the situation may be, and that's what you're doing. That, as far as I'm concerned, that's fake and that's phony. I mean, you're just perpetrating a fraud as far as I'm concerned. So that's how I see it. I want the other candidates to come on. I want them to come on the show, and so that they can say what they have to say. I'm not going to block anybody. I'm not going to block an event. If there's an event going on like the WJZ thing that you brought up, Doc, yeah, we're going to talk about it. They have all the candidates on there.
I can't do anything but commend you on trying to bring vital information to our community. We don't have much of a choice anymore which stations we go to and who we listen to. But the main thing is not just going to a station and listen to them, but to give them information that you most likely won't get from anybody else. And that's why I feel honored to sit here on your side. I don't know whether I'm the long range Tonto or whoever it is I am, but I'm honored that you are, you're approaching things and trying to give vital information and then let people make the decisions on their own. But when you got TV stations that are very prejudiciously not giving us the information, how can we trust you? And then how can we trust the administration? It's like all of you folks are untrustworthy. And that's not good. And I'm saying, Baltimore City, rise up. Demand more and better of our news reporters and people that are doing things that we're paying them for. If not, get them out of office and don't listen to their stations.
Yeah, if they're not giving you the goods, and I'm talking social media platforms too. I'm talking Facebook platforms. If these Facebook platforms are blackballing information and blocking information from getting to you, why in the world are you on there? I mean, why would you be on a platform that's going to block information from getting to you? And I'm sure there were people who found out later, like, wait a minute, you had an event on February the 1st? Well, no, I didn't let you all know about it because I didn't want you to know about it. What kind of crap is that? What do you mean you didn't want me to know about it? I want to know if there's an event
like
going on.
One of these reporters we dealt with, that he's so much in the pocket of one of the candidates, he wants to tailor anything you say or do. And, this guy, you're not being an honest reporter, when you're in somebody's pocket and, you're not giving us the truth. All we want is the truth. And all we're saying is, give it to us straight up and let us make the decision. But to be campaigning for people and then you got your own show and, you're not telling people the truth. You're telling them what you want to hear, not what they need to hear.
Well, you got to be straight up, and it should be full disclosure. Let everybody disclose. Let them know. This show is full disclosure. That's what we do. And speaking of full disclosure, you got it. I'm going to play this clip. Doc, everyone, just listen to this, and this at the end, especially at the end of this clip, it'll tell you everything. Here, let's go. Here we go. Let me cue this up. Here we go.
Well, a new survey from Wallet Hub ranks Baltimore among the worst-run cities in America. It ranks 132 on a list of 149 cities. Report from the Baltimore City Inspector General finds the Department of Public Works overpaid for office space to the tune of nearly $230,000.
11 News Investigates reporter Tolly Taylor joins us now live in the newsroom. Tolly, Inspector General Isabel Cumming looked at 2 DPW contracts in this investigation.
Cummings says since she started as Inspector General more than 5 years ago, her office has consistently had DPW under the microscope. The reason? Because of tips from Baltimore City residents. And she says in this case, the amount of taxpayer money wasted extends beyond the $227,000 her office found.
City-ordered report released today shows that the city does not make major cuts and reforms. In 10 years, bankruptcy may be the only option. 11 News reporter Lowell Melzer is live outside City Hall tonight with some reactions to that report. Lowell?
Yes, Dan, the report put out by Philadelphia-based Public Financial Management Incorporated shows what the city's books will look like in 10 years, and according to the report, the news is not good.
Raising questions about staffing tonight, the mayor's former chief of staff, Kezia Kager, is too. When she was hired in November of last year, she was making $225,000, about $40,000 more than her predecessor. Last month, she moved into a special advisor role. That jump comes with a lower salary, $160,000 annually. Mackenzie Frost asked the mayor about Kager's salary today because we have reason to believe.
Okay, I'm going to stop. Now listen to this coming up. Okay, this woman is making $225K. Then she gets put in the position where the position is $160K. That means, okay, you're going to get a reduction in salary, bubblehead. Okay, so Mackenzie Frost is asking Brandon, okay, basically what's going on with this? Now listen to this, because this is telling on Brandon Scott, Slim Shady. This is telling.
She might not have taken a pay cut.
Is she getting paid the $160 annual salary or still at the $225?
We'll send you all her direct information about what her salary is at appropriate time, and you know how we discuss personnel matters in a very sensitive way.
It's public information, right? Her salary, she's getting paid by taxpayers?
Yes, that is public information. Here we go. Now, weren't we just talking about public information, Doc?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's public information. So the public has a right to see what you're paying out to people, what their salaries are. It's public information. Just like they have a right to know of what fees that you're paying out, taxpayers' money. So let me continue.
There will be public information, and we'll give you that guys that information.
Whoa. Hey, Brandon, ass clown. It's not, it will be public information. It is public information. Did you hear him say that it will be public information, Doc?
Yeah, and it's ironic. I call names. I'm getting old. I did hear on another station, WBAL, that one of the talk show hosts brought up an issue, and he said, this is news. This is vital information that the public should have. And, why are we having this administration tell us these are things that you might need, might get information about? No, these are things that you owe us.
Exactly.
We need to know what's going on. All we're asking for is just give us the truth.
Yeah, this elitist attitude is an elitist. I will give you whatever I want to give you because I'm above the law. Whatever I deem when I want to make it public information. What a, I'm trying not to curse. What a complete jagoff. There are some other choice words that are going through my mind right now to call you Brandon Scott, pencil neck. There's some serious choice words going through my mind of what to call you, punk. What do you mean when you feel as though it'll be public? He deems it to be public information when he releases it. Who in the hell do you think you are? Who do you think? And more citizens need to be talking like this to this ass clown. More citizens need to be talking to him like this. Who in the hell do you think you are? All of you. Baltimore City Law Department. Who in the hell do you think you are? Baltimore City Council. Who the hell do you think you are?
Ethics Committee.
Well, you know what? You're going to find out who I am. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to find out who these other citizens are in Baltimore City. You're going to find out who they are. And you're going to find out who these mayoral candidates are. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're going to find out who they are. You're going to find out who a lot of people are. And it's going to be coming soon. I told you about that F5 hurricane. It's still in the Atlantic. It's a lot closer to shore now. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that F5 hurricane is coming, Daddy-O. So you cats better get ready. I'm gonna finish with this clip with this knucklehead.
An appropriate time.
Why did she stay on the city's payroll if she was changing from chief of staff to now a special assistant to the mayor?
Well, folks move around in offices all the time, so that's not people move from one agency to another. That happens consistently. Folks
She stayed in your office.
Exactly, that happens a lot too. So this is not an uncommon thing, not within government or in private business.
What is a special assistant to the mayor?
Well, listen, we've sent you a direct response about that, Mackenzie. She'll be advising on things around culture, around dealing with external partners in city government. This is not something that is abnormal by any stance in any sense of the word. Everyone from the president on down has these type of people.
Everyone on the president down has these type of people. You mean people wasting taxpayers' money for this BS position? That's what you mean. She's going to be advising on cultural things. Hey, why don't you? I can advise you on some cultural things. High top fades are out. Where's my $225,000? That's some advice on cultural things. Oh, another cultural thing. The group back in the 70s and early 80s, chick. This is cultural. This is cultural. Maybe she'd have been there to advise you on Destiny's Child and who they are. Cultural things.
Maybe you can answer this question because I've had it for the last 2.5 years. Is there some reason why the mayor is calling a news reporter by her first name?
That's how.
Is that supposed to be a slap at her or something? Are you calling all the other news reporters by first name?
You know what, Doc? That is an excellent observation. Wait, why is he? He's talking to her like, I don't know, like it's really a personal thing. You're correct. And is he? Begs another question.
I could be mistaken.
You could be. Maybe he does it with everyone. I don't know.
With the other reporters. But I know, there's a certain level of, I guess, concern. I won't say dislike that seems to be between the two of them. But I would not call her, by her first name, Mackenzie. Unless I was shooting back at her. And that's what it appears to be, that she asks questions and he makes it a propensity to keep calling her by her first name.
Well, he's trifling.
I'm wondering why.
He's trifling anyway. The young man is trifling. Okay, so, he's just trifling ways. But let's get back, because I want to stick on this Mr. High Top Fade. First is really high, then he cut it down low. My wife goes, I think you're getting to him because he cut his high top fade down. This is what my wife tells me. He cut it down. He cut his hair, and I looked at it. I said, "You know what? You're right. His hair is a lot lower, and now it's going back up again. So it's starting to grow again." But let's get into, because I'm just funning the kid because he has no style. But I'm gonna go. You got to hear this next clip about what's going on with Slim Shady.
Well, a new survey from Wallet Hub ranks Baltimore.
No. That's the other one I just played. Let me cue up the other one, because this is. Wait till you hear this. Here we go, Doc.
Over funding for some nonprofits stretched back months. Fox 25 News investigation in December revealed more than 30 city organizations were not in good standing with the state, but still collected $65 million in tax dollars. Fox 25's Jeff Abel joins us live with an update on that investigation tonight. Jeff?
Well, since we first reported this, the numbers have improved, but it appears the city is still funneling millions of dollars to nonprofits who are not in good standing with the state.
This is such an amazing moment in time.
It was 6 months ago when the Downtown Partnership awarded a $50,000 boost grant to the women of Be More Empowered.
Fabulous, phenomenal, brilliant, and beautiful women of Be More Empowered.
Wait. His voice is cracking. Wasn't this the woman he was dating on this thing? Remember the woman he was dating and allegedly had a child with? And they're engaged. Wasn't she? Let me continue, because I only ran this thing through once, so I do these things really quickly, folks. So let's go on.
Power.
Good morning. The December 14, 2022 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order.
6 months earlier, the city's Board of Estimates approved another $25,000 for the nonprofit.
The ayes have it. The routine agenda has been adopted.
The operations director at the nonprofit is now the mayor's fiancée.
Yeah, that's it. There it is. This is the one. Doc, this is freaking unbelievable. 50,000 and 25,000. Hello, Doc.
Lord help us.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me go on. There's more.
The organization, which helps inner city girls, solicits donations on its website. But the problem is, Be More Empowered is not in good standing with the state of Maryland. The Secretary of State has deemed the nonprofit's account delinquent.
There we go.
Well, they're not supposed to be soliciting from people if they're not in compliance with the state.
And nothing seems to be slowing the demand for more funds. It's the Baltimore Civic Fund, where donors can contribute in one click on its website. It's also a major recipient of city funds.
They received $14 million of city funds over the course of the last 15 months.
But what donors don't always see is this: its delinquent status with the state of Maryland. Nonprofits are required to regularly register.
So let me get this straight. These people are going in and donating, and they're out of compliance. But the people donating don't know this. They're not supposed to actually be donating the money, because they're out of compliance. So they're not supposed to be accepting funds. So where's Isabel Cummings? She's the Inspector General. Doc, what do you think?
Well, it seems a bit complicated, but it's letting you know that you're not getting the rest of the story, as they would say.
Sure not.
Paul Harvey. We're not getting the rest of the story. I just heard the audio tape. I heard someone say, I'm assuming it was a news person, they mentioned the name Jeff Abel, and they said both names very clearly. And it only makes me even wonder now, why is this man calling her by her first name?
Wow. Well, hold on a second. This is what I want to do. I'm going to call Thiru, see if I can get through to him. And I want to ask him a few questions. When is he going to file? He's got till tomorrow. And see what we can, kind of questions we can have with Thiru. But so hold on just a second. Let me go ahead and pull him up. This is what we do, folks. Okay, here it is. Because this lack of transparency is really really telling. Okay, here we go. I'm calling Thiru Vignarajah.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay.
410.
Okay, Doc, as you can hear, Thiru is not available. Okay, Thiru's not available. We tried to reach him. I told him I'd be calling him.
I feel obligated to say this, even though, as both of us know, Thiru is a good friend of mine. But Thiru, this is strike number 2 for you, dealing with the outsiders and coming forth to give us information. So I am a baseball player, on summary note. 3 strikes, you got 2 strikes at this point. You my friend, but his business is not personal.
Thiru, wow. You want to have the outsiders at least it be in good standing with us, because it's not good. I don't know what that's about, Doc. I don't know why he did this, but you know, I don't know what's going on.
Legitimate explanation.
It could be, but it's not good.
We're owed just that respect. The fact that we're trying to get everybody on these shows, Lottie-Dottie and everybody, as has been said. And, you know, we're trying to be as fair as we can. But, you know, nobody's a prima donna with this show.
Not with the outsiders.
Nobody's a prima donna. So, you know, if you see fit to make promises to come to us and you don't, we have the obligation to tell it like it is.
Yeah, it's not a good look. From what I'm hearing, there's other candidates whose candidacy is falling apart. The campaign's falling apart. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to wait till I get more information, because that's what I do, but I'm letting people know that there are situations out there with a candidate or 2 or 3 whose campaigns are starting to fall apart. And there's another candidate who, as people are watching with Patrice Sanders' interview, the event that happened, Charles Village event at St. Moses, and maybe a few other things, this candidate's starting to unhinge. And I will name this person's name, Sheila Dixon. If word's getting out that she's becoming unhinged, that she might be starting to lose it a little bit. Then that thing she did with Thiru, that low blow, we'll stand up for Thiru on this one. That low blow, and then she ran off the stage like a coward. You take a cheap shot and then run off the stage. No class. No class whatsoever. And this thing with somebody throwing clothes at her during an interview in the morning with Fox 45, her public relations channel for Sheila Dixon, and that hot mess. This is gonna, and we're in February, Doc. We're what? Barely in the middle of February?
Yeah.
And we've got until the middle of May? What kind of nonsense is going to be going on? This has just really started. The heat of the campaign trail is just started to heat up now. So we're going to see how things go in Baltimore with this mayoral race. But I do want to finish, because I'm not finished with you, Slim Shady. And let me go ahead and finish this. The nonprofit business.
Share their financials with the state, or the state can bar them from soliciting donations.
These laws are designed to prevent public ripoffs, and that's why the state of Maryland has the law. It's just not being followed by many of these nonprofits.
Yeah, because they're above the law. The mayor feels as though he's above the law. These people are above the law.
Adam Andrzejewski of OpenTheBooks.com has spent months tracking nonprofits and says 21 of the top 100 nonprofits which have received city funding are not in good standing with the state of Maryland.
Let me get this straight. Over 20% are not in good standing and they're still getting money? Doc, how? Wait, hold it, stop. Oh my goodness. This is this is a joke.
And how would they know what percentages is if they don't know what organizations they're making reference to? And I'm saying, you know, I'm one of many nonprofits here. You know, some of those funds go to us. You know, not Safe Street or Monsey or We Are Us. Why all the money going to folks that really don't have a track record or haven't done anything, especially when it comes to the Western District? Give me a couple thousand of those dollars. I already have the best crime playing in West Baltimore we average no more than 1 or 2 homicides a year, and we are the biggest. So our crime plan is working. But we're not getting the money that y'all giving these nonprofits that aren't delivering.
Oh, that's easy. I can tell you why you're not getting it. Because either you have the chapstick, but you're not using the chapstick to kiss Brandon's backside. That's why you're not getting it. You're not part of his crew. You don't have the chapstick. Oh, and I'm talking to everybody. Hey, all of you. And you know who you are, because I'm going to call all of you out. All of you. All of you who took the chapstick or the Vaseline or whatever you want to call it to kiss Brandon's backside so you can get your money for your project. Is that what you did? Because that's what you did. So I tell you what, ill-gotten gain. I tell you what, okay, all of you that kiss Brandon's backside and the people out there who are doing the hard work, working hard, and I'm not saying that these people who kiss Brandon's backside to get that money aren't doing good work. I'm not saying that. But I am saying this, you are beholden to him. How can you talk straight? You can't talk straight to me when you did that to get those funds from Brandon Scott, and these people, when they needed the money or desperate and they had projects, we had a project, I got to do what I got to do to get that money from Brandon. I got to do what I got to do. I'm not going to say what that sounds like, but I got to do what I got to do to get that money from Brandon. He's the man. I got to get that money. I got to do it. And Doc, you're not taking the chapstick and you're not kissing Brandon's backside. So that's why you're not getting the money. And you're not one of his boys or one of his puppets or whatever in that little crew. You and others, you don't roll like that. You're actually real men. You're real men, real women. Okay, you're doing things the right way. And Brandon wants to, you want that money? That's what you're going to have to do. That's another reason why you got to get him out of there. You need to, somebody, the person who needs to be in that mayor's seat needs to be somebody who actually cares for the people, not in it for a grift, who actually cares for the people, not a career brown-noser, not a career brown-noser, who actually cares for the people and is going to do right for the people and is going to get the funds to those organizations based off of their performance and how long they've been doing it and their ability to help people, and not off of their buddies of mine and they kiss my backside. That's what's going on, or what they can get out of it as well. And that's what's going on.
Well,
so that's why.
I have someone that's anxious to come on, the outsiders. That is Maryland State Senator J.B. Jennings, who introduced the bill to bring, I guess, weapons so that our police officers in school can be weaponized like they are in every other public school in the state of Maryland. We are going to bring him on another radio show next week, and I do know that he does have interest in coming on the outsiders to discuss the bill that he has introduced.
Well, we're going to book him. Doc, you and I are going to talk about it. We're going to get him on here ASAP. And I've got actually several people. They're like breaking down my door now, Doc, to get on the show. So I've got several people who want to be on this show. And actually, unlike Thiru, they're going to show up. Yeah, I threw that shot in, Thiru. Sorry, you don't cancel on me. What are you doing? I would have came out of that meeting and said, Sean, I don't have the 20 minutes that I could give you. I can give you 10, but I'm going to, come on, it's not a good look. Jeez. Anyway, and hopefully we'll reschedule Thiru at a time of his choosing. Doc did say 2 strikes. The third one, you're out. And I got to back Doc's play. I got to back his play. He's my co-host. So we're going to try one more time. Woo! We're going to try one more time for an event. Get through to get you on. And we'll see what happens.
What have we done? What have we done? 6 mayoral candidates, or has it been more than that?
We've had several on. I don't know the exact number.
But I know there's been total fairness in reaching out to everybody and just trying to plug them in as quickly as we can. And I thank you and commend you for that, because I think it's in fairness that we're doing what we're doing. It's in fairness.
Yes, it's in fairness, and we're not blocking.
Some of these candidates, I don't mind telling y'all, they probably won't get 1% of the vote.
But we're still going to give them.
But they probably won't get 1% of the vote. we want to afford them an opportunity in the beginning to at least let us know who they are.
Exactly, and let the people decide. And they have to run a good campaign. You got to run the campaign. I had given some of you some advice, and unfortunately for them, they have not taken my campaign advice, and they've done things the other way. So when the chips hit and election day hits, you can't say I didn't try. I tried to tell you, but there we go. But I digress. Thanks you all. Thank all for looking at the outsiders today and listening to us. And we're gonna stay on it and keep doing what we're doing. And there's more news coming, folks. The stuff that I have to tell you that's coming in the next several weeks and months to come. Woo! I'm gonna do my Ric Flair. Woo! We got some stuff coming. Anyway, everybody take care. God bless, and happy Black History Month to all. And I hope you all stay safe. God bless. Take care.